Hey, what's up, you sexy bitches? We are back for episode 3 of the NFL Boycott Club. As always, it's your pal, Anthony Juice Giorgio, and with me is my partner in crime on the show, Mr. Gio.
Good afternoon, everybody. Coming live here from North Jersey.
What's going on? How was your week, buddy?
Oh, not too bad. Can't complain.
All right, that's good.
What about yourself?
Not bad. Not bad. A little bit of a blur, but
Yeah.
it went by fast. Well, I had a couple days off this week, so
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
When it's a blur, it's usually a good thing.
yeah, it was a good blur.
Yeah.
A blur of goodness. So, yeah, we're back at you with Week 5 NFL information for
Right.
the boycotters out there. Stay strong. We'll watch it so you don't have to. And so your picks last week, Mr. O. Not 3-0 like the first week, but
Not as good. We were
Yeah.
1-2 last week,
all right.
but it's all about the whole year.
But overall, you're a winner.
Yeah.
Overall, you're still 4-2.
4-2, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Which
so,
is not bad.
So if you're betting with us, you're a winner.
You're still winning. Yep.
So, hey, as always, because we care about our audience, we don't make you sit through commercials. We don't make you wait till fucking 5:55 or 5:56.
No.
We're bringing you the picks right now.
Right off the bat, let's go.
What do you got for me?
All right. So for first game of the week, we have Raiders and Chiefs. Chiefs are -11. You know, I tried betting the Raiders 2 weeks in a row, and they just disappointed me. So I'm tired of betting
So
them.
this is like a spike fuck.
Sort of.
Yeah.
This is definitely. I'm definitely betting the Chiefs had a spite here, because the Raiders have just screwed me 2 weeks in a
Try
row.
to stick it to him like in Seinfeld.
I thought they were a good team. Like, they looked so good the first 2 weeks, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe this team's gonna do it this year. Then they lose 2 in a row. Pretty bad losses too. So you know what? Chiefs -11. Chiefs have been rolling. They're playing a terrible Raiders team the past 2 weeks.
They are playing at home.
And it's in Arrowhead, which they have fans there, which is unusual.
Right. They have, I believe, 22% capacity, which is about 16,000 people.
Which is not bad, because in Kansas City, the fans get pretty loud there.
Well, unless they're piping in the noise, it sounds like the crowd, it's relatively loud considering it's like a quarter full.
Oh, it is.
But I don't know, like you never know if it's TV magic or not, because they could even put a fake digital crowd, which is kind of creepy. But
It's true, because
they do have that capability.
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, with Kansas City though, they have a pretty solid fan base. I know on normal days it's one of the hardest places to play. So I think even that it's quarter full, the fans are still get pretty loud. But I'm going Chiefs here, -11. They're gonna roll this team, I think. Chiefs have been playing so good. They've been blowing out every team that they play, except for the Chargers game, which was kind of a weird game because they were playing a backup quarterback, so they probably weren't used to him. But I see the Chiefs -11 here.
All right, fair.
What do you think? You like the Chiefs there?
Well, they're your picks, so I don't want to step on your toes, buddy.
Hey, you could disagree with me. Go ahead.
It's a tough one.
It's like Mike and the Mad Dog here, right? Like, you can disagree.
But you make all these good points, and the problem is you just don't know which Raiders team you're going to get. You don't know
Right.
if you're going to get the 2-win team or the 2-loss team.
I know.
So that's where I'm conflicted. I don't know if the Chiefs are going to win by 11, but they could. I mean, you know what? If you think about it logically, they steamrolled over the Ravens. They made short work out of the Pats. I mean, with the third-string quarterback. But
Yep.
yeah, no, I think I agree with you on this one.
Just offensively, the Chiefs look on fire. That nobody can stop that team.
yeah, man. Pat, my homeboy's on fucking fire right now.
He's earning that money, that $40 million a year.
And his fiance.
Right.
You see that smoke show?
Oh yeah. They have a baby, I think.
Really?
Coming.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is he, 24, 25?
I think he's 25 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, when I was 25, I was scrapping money together to fucking take a trip to Vegas once a year.
Right. You weren't throwing touchdown passes in the Super Bowl.
Good for him, though. We're not haters on this show. We celebrate.
No, not at all.
What do you got for me next, pal?
So my second pick, and this may be a pick that a lot of you viewers out there will disagree with. I got Eagles +7 versus the Steelers. For whatever reason, the Eagles usually play the Steelers pretty well in Pittsburgh. The Eagles won last week. They beat the Niners. I see that momentum going into this week. I don't know if they're going to win, but 7 points is a lot. I see that game coming down to the wire. I'm going to take Eagles +7 here.
Okay. I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
1,
1, 2, and 1. I mean, What a joke our division is, huh? The
Oh,
NFC
yeah.
East, our home division.
Right.
And the Giants, if they win a game, they'll be what, in second place?
They'll
At
be in
1-4?
second place. If the Giants beat the Cowboys,
But they're not going to win.
probably not.
And that game's that we'll get to that game, but I believe they're in Dallas.
They're
right?
in Dallas, yes.
All right. What do you got for me for pick number 3?
And number 3, I'm actually surprised the spread was so low in this game, is the Cardinals versus the Jets. Cardinals are -7. I know they lost a couple games, but the Jets are abysmal. They lost to a backup quarterback in Denver. A third-string quarterback, actually. I mean,
Wow.
and now you're going up against the Cardinals and Kyler Murray. 7 points? I'll take that all day.
That NFC West, do you think that's the best division in the NFL?
Oh, hands down. NFC West is the best division. It's not even a question.
And the Niners are what, 2-2 with the JV squad
They're
playing?
2-2 with backup
yeah, we'll get to
quarterbacks,
them,
no
but-
running backs, yeah. But I'm taking Cardinals -7. I know. Hopefully they play that game. I actually have the Cardinals defense in fantasy. I know a Jets player had COVID. They shut the facility down on Friday, but it looks like they're still scheduled to play that game
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
Forum Park was still shut down?
for Friday. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
But you know what's weird about this whole COVID thing? I mean, can we touch on this? You know,
It's our show. We can touch on whatever we want.
yeah. I mean, it's a pandemic. I get it. I'm not trying to downplay it.
What's the difference
But-
between a pandemic and an epidemic, by the way? I know there's actually a difference. I think one is
They're
like
not synonymous.
I think one is like a larger scale emergency than the other, I think.
Which would be a pandemic. That sounds like. Is that what it? Is that what?
I'm not gonna, without Google in front of me, I'm not gonna define words I don't know.
And we're not gonna go on our phone like Peter Rosenberg and Michael K show. We're gonna just
Nah, we're not phonies.
yeah, we're not gonna do that.
No.
But I mean, my point is like, okay, I don't want to downplay it, but all these players get it, and everyone's asymptomatic,
Look,
and then
it-
it's like
it's
they play a
it's
week later.
It's a glorified cold. You know what I mean?
It sounds like that.
It
I mean,
could be dangerous for certain people. But,
yeah, but so can the regular flu, right?
Yeah, no one talks about that.
Yeah, and what about what's the prostate cancer rate in America? It's like 25% of men get it.
What about
like
people
why
that-
aren't we talking about that?
What about people that just fucking get hit by a truck?
Right, walking across the street. That isn't that the same equivalency? You can actually get hit by a truck just as you can die from COVID. Isn't it the same
Probably.
percentage?
What about people? There's a number of people every year that die in the shower.
Yeah,
That happens,
right.
you know.
But
What are you gonna do? Ban a shower?
But my thing is like these guys are all getting it. They're all asymptomatic. A week later they're playing. I mean, is it really that serious? I get. We just said it. It's serious for some people, like anything else, like the regular flu.
Right.
But like, are we really gonna do this forever?
Well, look at all the people. We're watching the Red River rivalry game. That's not say that 5 times fast.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Texas and Oklahoma, and it feels like the game's on early this year, right?
Yeah, it's usually later in the season because that's when most rivalry games are.
And they're not. They usually play this in Dallas. They're not in Dallas. Where the hell are they?
They're probably playing at the Oklahoma Stadium, but
Because they usually play on a neutral field.
oh, true, that's
for
right.
This game. But
Yeah.
I bring it up because it looks like that stadium's about 1/3 full. There's
Oh
a
wow!
lot of people.
And there's actually a lot of Texas fans there. Actually, now that I see it,
yeah, that's interesting.
so maybe it is a neutral site, but it's not Dallas, obviously.
No, but I thought this game was in Dallas every year.
It's supposed to be, yeah, and it's usually later in the year, like in
Yeah.
November.
Yeah, they usually make you wait for it.
But things are different this year. They're probably worried about the season being canceled. They're like, let's get this game early so we get the we get the ratings and the viewership.
Well, it's not much of a contest right now. Oklahoma's actually up by 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
The Sooners. My boy Jim Ross is probably there from pro wrestling. He's a big Sooners fan.
Is he?
He's usually at every game unless he has to work like a wrestling show.
Gotcha.
He's usually on the sideline.
Well, I know nothing about wrestling, so
And when he comes out like into the arena to like do his commentary job, he comes out to the Sooners fucking music.
what is that? Their school song or something?
Yeah. So I know it because I've heard all the shows I've been to. You know.
And this guy's like a good wrestler or something, I assume?
No. He's a commentator. He's like
Oh, okay.
the Troy Aikman or Pat Buck of the pro wrestling.
Joe Buck.
Yeah. Well, there's a guy named Pat Buck. See, I know too many people and too many different fucking.
Is he related to Joe Buck?
No.
Okay.
It's probably not even a real name.
Okay, gotcha. Because I know his father was an announcer, so I don't know if it was in the family. You know how it's
No,
always
but
like
there's
fam-
a wrestler. There's a wrestler named Pat Buck. So
gotcha.
Yeah. Out of Jersey, by the way, from Rahway.
No kidding.
He's a good dude. I don't know him personally, but my friend McLovin does.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of going around the league, let's reset. We got the 1-2-1 Bengals at the 3-1 Ravens.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think this could be another trap game?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Bengals, we talked about Joe Burrow. We both like him. He's looking pretty good. He got his first win last week,
and
finally.
Baltimore's given up 13 points.
It's a lot of points.
Is Baltimore capable of winning by 30? Do you think that?
Well, they've been blowing teams out when they don't play the Chiefs.
That's that's a good point.
When they don't play a good team, they actually blow them out. But the Bengals are still inferior. So, but I can see the Bengals holding them to less than 13-point win.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And also, you got to understand with the NFL, you could be up by 20, then you get a garbage time touchdown in the fourth quarter.
We were talking about that last.
So now all of a sudden it's a 13-point game.
Right.
So that's what happens. That's why I don't like big spreads usually in the NFL. That kind of stuff happens. So, and of course they're going to probably give Burrow some work in the fourth quarter. So I could definitely see a nonsense touchdown coming in late.
Yep.
So I probably wouldn't touch that game, but if you put a gun to my head, I'll take Bengals plus 13.
All right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. I can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
And the Eagles were one of your picks, right?
Eagles were one of my picks. Yeah, I'm going to take them plus 7. Don't let me down, Eagles, because they screwed me in my Survivor Week 1 game playing Washington.
You got knocked out on Week 1?
Week 1.
They're Survivor Bowl.
And mind you, they were up 17-0.
You're supposed to pick, the most obvious game on Week 1, too.
Is that not an obvious game versus Washington and Dwayne Haskins?
I would stay away from a division game.
But they were up 17-0. I was riding high. I was like, this game's over. And then Carson Wentz comes in, throws 2 interceptions near the red zone.
Well, you got screwed over by 2 things. The witching hour, which is, I want to say it starts at about 3:25.
Okay.
They call that the witching hour because that's when all the shit gets fucked up on the 1 o'clock games.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you got screwed over, number 1, by the witching hour. And then, number 2, you got screwed over by overrated Carson Wentz.
Oh, of course. He is completely overrated. I don't know what happened to that guy. He looked so good in his first year as a rookie, and usually you get better as a quarterback, not worse. How does that happen?
And him and Goff came out of the same draft, right?
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you get worse though as a quarterback? Only these guys get better over time, not worse.
Well, again, it's like a lot. It's like a lot of other things in life, but it does what the fucking the opposite of what it should do.
Right. You know? Well, I guess for the Eagles.
Yeah. Go figure. All right. Next, we got the 3-1 Rams on the road back to the East Coast to take on the 3-1. Oh no, I'm sorry.
1-3.
1-3. There's my
the Washington football team.
I was just gonna call them Washington pussies again.
Oh, that's right. We can use that word here.
Right. Yeah, we can say whatever we want. It's our show.
It's our show, and no one's paying us. There's no censorship. Right?
Well, I mean, let's not get into our income, but but
no one wants to hear that. That'll depress everybody.
Let's just say here at the NFL Boycott Club, we have artistic integrity. Or how does that go?
If you want to call it that.
What does George say on Seinfeld? He goes, "I'm not going to give up my artistic integrity."
Right.
And what does Jerry tell him?
What do you say? I forget.
He goes, "George, first of all, you're not artistic. And second of all, you have no integrity."
Was that when they were pitching the pilot to NBC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess the suits wanted them to compromise on something for the show, and
and Jerry's like, they're gonna give a bunch of guys with no experience money. Is that what you expect, George? But let's look at this game.
But the Redskins are so pathetic; they make us talk about Seinfeld.
Right. I mean, exactly. You just changed the topic with the Redskins.
Look, I guess the Rams are giving up. Dude, well, first of all, for the Rams to be playing at 1 p.m. again on the East Coast, going across the country on the road, and giving up 7, I'd like the Rams on this.
Yeah, I like them too here. Washington, they actually benched Haskins this week, which was coming.
I'm 2-0 on my lock of the week. I'm going to make this my lock of the week.
Who was your lock of the week last week?
Honestly, I don't even remember, but I was right.
I know you got
Tom Brady. I said load up on Tom Brady, I think.
Right, yeah. And that's right. He had a good game. And then your other lock was the Giants.
Yeah.
The Niners, I should say.
Well, the Niners against the Giants.
Yeah.
Because the Niners, the spread was way too...
well, it was like 3.5.
Yeah, and it's like, no, you got to go with the fucking Niners.
Even against the backup quarterback, you were confident the Niners are going to blow them out.
Even with the Niners practice squad, right. They would have covered that.
The JV squad out there.
Yeah.
Oh, what a mess. But this game, I like the Rams too. The only thing you got to be careful in these games, whenever a backup quarterback comes in and starts the first game, they seem to always perform pretty well that first game until teams figure them out. And Kyle Allen actually played pretty well with the Panthers last year. So you do got to be careful with this game because of the backup quarterback.
Hey, by the way, why did the Panthers get rid of him? I thought he played well for them.
He started off well and then just kind of hit a wall.
I see.
So I guess teams did figure him out at one point. I think they were like 4-0.
Well,
then they went up going like 0-5 the next 5 games.
Not that I think Colin Kaepernick deserves any airtime from us, but that's essentially what happened with his career, right? I mean, he Alex Smith was playing well. He got hurt. They put in Cap. Alex
played
Smith
great.
actually got better.
Yeah.
I was able to play, but
Harbaugh
never put him back in.
Well, they had to ride the hot hand at that point because Kaepernick was playing so good.
And then he had a phenomenal year the next year. And then that was it.
Then he just hit a wall.
They figured him out.
Yeah.
Because at first you didn't really know what to expect from him. You know, he was throwing all sorts of shit at you that you really weren't.
Yeah, especially with those running quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They always kind of throw like a monkey wrench in your game plan. So, yeah, he was good for a couple of years. He definitely was. He went to the Super Bowl. You can't say he wasn't.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to say he sucked his whole career, but he certainly, the last couple of years were not good.
Yeah, and that's kind of happened with Kyle Allen. They hadn't figured out within the same season.
Right.
They were 4-0 with him, and then he just kind of hit a wall there. But, yeah, I mean, you got to be careful with that game just because it is the backup coming in. Maybe he's a little bit better now. But you had to bench Haskins. That guy is horrible.
Yeah, and they spent a high pick on him, right?
It wasn't. It was first round, but it was like mid-first round, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
That was the Giants were looking at him, and I knew in college I was like, do not draft this guy.
Where did he go to school?
Ohio State.
Oh, that's right.
And no quarterbacks go to Ohio State that come to the NFL that are good.
Yeah, I was just going to say Ohio State quarterbacks.
Well, they play in that spread offense that Urban Meyer was running. Those
Right.
quarterbacks don't really fare well in the NFL.
But just like historically, I can't really name any Ohio State quarterbacks that went to the NFL.
They had Troy Smith come to the NFL.
Well,
he was
went
trash.
to the Ravens, right?
Yeah, the Ravens.
He was like a backup on the Raven.
I think he actually did start.
But I think he actually. Oh no, the kid from Michigan who was the quarterback from maybe 6-7 years ago. The guy with the dreadlocks.
Oh, him. Robinson. Yeah. He became a running back.
Right, yeah, because he knew he couldn't play quarterback in the NFL. I think he was listed as offensive weapon at the draft.
How about that? Because there's a lot of these quarterbacks in college run the ball. They just said, you know what, we're making you a running back because you can't throw that well.
Hey, the guy was looking out for his career, so
yeah.
Maybe Tim Tebow, because he's a good athlete. Maybe Tebow should have done something like that.
Well, they tried him at different places, like at tight end, a fullback.
He won a couple games with the Broncos with a little trickery.
Yeah,
you know, a win's a win.
He won a playoff game, right?
Yeah.
I still remember that game. I think he threw a slant pattern for like 5 yards. The guy ran for a touchdown in overtime.
We were at Miami Mike's, and I was at least. I don't know if you were there, but the place fucking erupted.
That was nuts.
Yeah, that was crazy. Because you didn't see it coming. I think it was against the Steelers, too.
Steelers, yeah. It was like a 5-yard slant pattern. The guy ran for 80 yards. Yeah, in overtime.
Yeah.
And that was the game. It was a walk-off.
That was fucking nuts, man.
And everyone was like, oh, Tebow's so good. But what's great is that John Elway, who was managing the Broncos, like the player operation.
Well, he still is doing that.
But back then, he used to say to everybody, he's not a good quarterback.
Right.
We have to get somebody else. And that's when he brought in Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And they had all those weapons, and they went to the Super Bowl. And, twice they went.
Yeah.
Won
the
one,
Seahawks
lost one.
blew them out here at MetLife Stadium.
Yeah, that was a horrible game.
And
God.
Then who did Peyton beat? Well,
then they went and beat the Panthers.
Well, the next time, yeah, but that really wasn't due to Peyton Manning.
Peyton was horrible that year. But the year they played Seattle, the whole year he was good until that Seattle game. I feel like the first play of that game, I think Peyton fumbled it or it was a bad snap.
Right.
And then the Seahawks scored. And that threw the whole game off for them. It was like that one bad play just ruined the game for the Broncos. Yeah. It's like, really? You couldn't come back from that?
You want to talk about blown opportunities. Speaking of the Seahawks, these should have went back-to-back. It
came
down to one play against the Pats at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Because your boy Sneaky Pete called a shitty play.
Oh, yeah. If he runs the ball there, Seattle has 2 Super Bowls.
In a row.
Yeah.
That's so hard to do.
And they just give it to the Pats. Give it away to them.
We had, Elway in the 90s did it, and I'm sure Brady did it eventually with the Pats, right? The Pats had to win 2 years in a row once.
Back-to-back? That's actually a good question. I'm not even sure.
I think the Pats won 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 years. At one point. And they had a stretch where they won 3 out of 4 years.
So it had to be back-to-back.
Yeah, so you would have to have a back-to-back in that.
And you know what it is about the Pats? They usually don't blow teams out in the Super Bowl. Every game they play is close.
Yeah.
They either lose, they've lost, 3? or they win by like a small margin,
Yeah.
like a last-second field goal
Yeah.
or something at the end that happens. It's always a close
If
game.
you think about when their whole run started with Belichick and Brady, these should have never really beat the Raiders in the playoffs. The Raiders got robbed.
Oh yeah, when the Tuck rule came
Yeah.
into effect, yeah,
So that whole dynasty could have never happened.
that was still a
And dude, you
crazy
never
game.
know. If they lose that game, you don't know what that does to their morale as a team. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You don't know if they're going to go back to the playoffs and have the same degree of success. Maybe. I mean, because, don't knock Tom Brady and don't knock Belichick.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen enough from Belichick to realize he is the best coach of our generation. I mean, he just
Absolutely.
takes anybody and wins.
And he's obviously a disciple of our fucking favorite coach, Bill Parcells.
Sure. Learn it from Parcells. Learn it from the best.
You know, they used to call him the Big Tuna,
The Big Tuna, yep.
Parcells.
That's him.
Man, he did fuck the Jets, though, Parcells, man. Speaking of the Jets, man, he really fucking screwed. And then Belichick screwed them.
Yeah.
But you never know. I mean, if Belichick ended up coaching the Jets, who knows if he would have been as successful.
I know, that organization's just such a mess. Who knows?
But you know what, though? When Belichick was coaching the Browns before they moved to Baltimore, he was turning that team around.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what happened. He let him either they let him go or he went to Parcells with the Jets.
Yeah, I forget what happened. I know he was on the Browns, but yeah, did they like fire him or something after that?
I don't know, but if you look at it, he was actually turning the Browns around, and
Right.
they went their separate ways when they were starting to get some degrees of success.
Yeah, then they brought in what's his name, Bill Bellick, and then
Brian Billick.
Brian Billick,
at the Ravens, yeah.
Yeah.
Blew out our boys at the Super Bowl.
Oh, that was horrible. That's the forgotten Super Bowl. They make you forget it
The
here
Giants
in New York.
do make you forget about that Super Bowl.
I even forget it sometimes. Like, wow, we actually did go to a Super Bowl in 2000.
See, well, that's the thing. And again, I'm going to armchair quarterback, and as if I can go out and win these games for the Jets. But
Oh,
the
yeah.
Jets, in our lifetime, are 0-3 in their AFC title games.
Mm-hmm.
You got to win those games. It's like
Yeah.
the Giants are 5-0 in their title games.
Yeah, that's
The Giants
true.
never lose the NFC championship game.
When they get to the playoffs, they make noise. The Giants.
Well, either
when
that,
the very few cases that they make
they
it.
either make noise or they get their asses kicked in the wild card round.
Yeah.
It's either or.
Well-
They either win the whole fucking thing or they embarrass themselves in the first round.
Exactly. Well, that one year when Plexico shot himself in the leg, they were playing
Literally,
so well.
He literally shot the team in the foot.
Right. Only the Giants could
That was
actually make a
better-
literal
Hey,
metaphor.
Speaking of back-to-back, the Giants had a better team in 08 than they had in 07 when they won the championship.
Oh yeah, they were 12-4 that year.
They could have. The Giants absolutely could have went back-to-back.
Yeah.
This year.
But once Plexico went out, it was like
was
that
it.
offense was like
It was done.
They
It was-
were confused. They're
it
like,
was
what
lights
do we
out.
do now?
It was lights out.
I can't believe how one player made that big of a difference on offense.
I can't either. And you know what though? And he caught that last-second touchdown pass. in the
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Oh, I remember that. We were at Miami Mike's for that
Yeah,
game.
that was crazy.
Once Eli threw it, I saw him open, and I was just jumping up before he even caught it.
Right, like you were going to catch the ball.
I knew he was going to catch it because the cornerback, I don't know where he was. He was like 10 feet away from him.
Yeah.
I think he got beat off of like an out pattern, and he was just wide open.
Your boy, what's his name? The coach of the Titans played in that game too.
Oh, Vrabel,
He
yeah.
was a linebacker, right?
Yeah.
On the Pats.
Linebacker, and they used to bring him in for tight end sometimes to get touchdown
that's right.
passes.
Yeah, they do sneaky shit like that.
Yeah, I think he had like 5 career touchdown passes, which is crazy for a starting linebacker.
But what was he like? He was like, what, a middle linebacker?
Middle linebacker, yeah.
So if you're a middle linebacker, I think you can play tight end a few plays a year.
Yeah, but it just shows you how bad they were at tight end, that they're like, you know what, let's bring a linebacker in for this play.
Well, you
Because
think
if
it
you
was-
have a good linebacker, you're not taking him out in the goal line.
That's true.
I'm sorry, good tight end, excuse
yeah,
me.
I knew what you meant. The audience knew what you meant.
I hope so.
Well, we clarified. All right, so next here on the docket, speaking of the Panthers, 2-2 Panthers at the 0-4 Falcons, a team just as the Falcons might be more pathetic than the Giants, and I'll tell you why. Because they could have won all their games.
Just to give you hope. Not all of them. Last game they got blown up by the Packers. But, yeah, there's 2 games that were absolutely played horribly in the
Falcons,
second
we
half.
can all agree the Falcons should not be 0-4.
No, not at
They
all.
should at least be 2-2. At least.
And I think even though I hate your boy Mike Francesa, he did make a good point. This comes from the head coach. This is a head
Dan
coaching
Quinn.
decision. Yeah, he is doing something in the second half that is just not helping them finish the game off. They're not closing it out. And what I like about the Packers team, if you watch them, they'll be up by a lot, and they still keep passing the ball, grinding it out, kind of like your boy Jimmy Johnson did back in the day with Miami. They don't just say, okay, we're up by 12, let's run the ball out.
No, he's going to embarrass you.
Yeah, but that's a good
that's
mentality.
The mentality you need. It's football.
Yes.
That's what you need. And again,
but not only that, then you become like the Falcons and you blow these leads. That's what happens.
Well, and again, I think, I used my Madden analogy a couple weeks ago because anybody that's played Madden, right, what do you have to do? You have to manage the clock.
Right.
Just like in real life, right? This guy, I think it comes down to shitty clock management.
Oh, it's that, and it's also probably just playing conservative. It's that
you can't take your foot off the pedal.
Yes, let's go run, punt. No, that's not how you're going to finish the game off.
No. And if you're going to do that, get a fucking first down once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, the Falcons team, who knows with this game. Actually, somebody
the Falcons are favored by 1.5 because they're playing at home, I guess.
I know, that's crazy. An 0-4 team being a 1.5 point favorite versus a 2-2 team. I'm leaning towards the Panthers this game because they have been playing well recently. Actually, a friend had asked me about this game. I said, you know what? You can flip a coin for this game.
No, you know what you said? You said tune in on Saturday to the NFL Boycott Club. And we'll tell you.
To be honest, I still don't have an answer for this game. I'm 51% for the Panthers, though, if that means anything.
You think they'll win by more than 1.5?
I mean, well, the Panthers are getting 1.5, so I'll take the Panthers with the points here. This way, if they can lose by 1, and you still win.
Yeah, you know what? I don't see Atlanta losing this game.
They got to win 1, right?
They got to win 1. They're at home.
They've had too many close games.
It's a team they know well. It's in the division.
True.
This is the old NFC West matchup. Believe it or not, we talked about that.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird, huh? Charlotte, a team from Charlotte.
Yeah, why is there a team from Atlanta and Charlotte in the NFC West?
Well, that's the way it was because they had to fill the slot, so it just didn't matter.
These divisions, they used to make no sense, the divisions.
There was like a...
Weren't the Cardinals in the NFC East? Remember that?
Yeah,
when
the Cardinals were in the NFC East.
When they were in the Phoenix?
Well, keep in mind, they came from St. Louis.
Oh,
so
right.
there were two
So I guess they were kind of close to these.
There were two different St. Louis Cardinals.
Right.
And that's why the Bears are called the Bears, because of the Cubs.
Oh, is that a fact?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No.
There's
your history lesson.
AJ's always dropping these facts on us during these shows.
Yeah.
Even on me. And you guys probably think that I'm like actually faking this surprise that he gives me this information, but it's actually, I really did not know that.
Well, and speaking of Philly, the Oakland A's, they came from Philly.
Well, that I knew. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, the Philly A's.
I'll give you an easy one. Where did the Dodgers come from?
Brooklyn.
There you go. You know something.
That's baseball, though. You know about
fuck that sport.
Football? Nah, baseball's a great sport. Let's not shit on baseball.
Well, I just think it's as boring as watching the grass grow. But I'm a Yankees fan, so I can...
Well, I can't defend baseball. I when people tell me it's boring, I'm like, you know what? You're right. But I actually enjoy watching it.
Yeah, it's one of those things you either enjoy it or you don't. I'll tell you what, though. I do enjoy playoff baseball.
Oh, playoff baseball is the best.
It's pretty exciting.
Yes.
Pretty exciting.
It's great. But let's not go towards baseball right now. We're still trying to focus on football.
This is the MLB Boycott Club, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
I guess after football season, if we still do this, we're just going to have a generic sports show.
I know.
We'll see. We'll keep it posted.
Well, that's what a lot of these shows do, right? I mean, during this whole pandemic.
No. All right, well, next here we got the 1-3 Jags at the 0-4. I didn't realize how many 0-4 teams there are.
Yeah, and what's funny about this game, Houston's 0-4, and they're -6. Wow. How do you...
With an interim coach.
With new coach. And that's probably why they'll win, because whenever you change coaches, we all know what happens. That team rallies behind the interim coach because they don't like the original coach, and now they're probably going to win. So I like Houston to win here. I don't know about 6, but I could see Houston winning that game.
Well, the interim coach, he's got experience as a head coach.
Yeah, Romeo Crennel.
Yeah.
He's been around forever. Isn't he like in his 60s?
I think he's another Bill Parcells guy. I think he used to work for Bill Parcells.
Yeah, he did.
At one point. Yeah.
I mean, he's been coaching for like 30 years. I mean, so he knows what he's doing.
He definitely knows what he's doing.
But it looks like, from what I hear, Bill O'Brien didn't really have the support of the players. I heard J.J. Watt got to a fight with him during practice.
He should have just stayed at Penn State. He did a good job after that whole Penn State
fiasco. I think Penn State wanted to get rid of him, no? Or did he choose to leave? I forget.
No, he left for this job.
For the NFL, okay.
And I didn't realize he was also the GM. How the fuck can you coach and be a GM at the same time?
Yeah, they give him some...
Especially in 2020. I could see like maybe in the 80s.
Yeah.
But not 2020.
They do give some of these coaches a lot of power. I mean, for a new coach like that, it's weird. But, I mean, he ruined that team. He traded DeAndre Hopkins for basically nothing. He gave Deshaun Watson, who I don't think is even that great of a quarterback, a ton of money.
Right.
So they're invested with him for a long time.
How do you have the coach deciding the payroll? You know what I mean?
And then fire him a week later.
It just like it just seems like too many hats for one person.
Yeah. Well, and that's what they let him do. But I do like Houston to finally win a game here. They are playing the Jaguars, so they do have a chance. And like I said before, they usually rally around these interim coaches, especially with the craziness going on in Houston. From what I hear, a lot of the players didn't like Bill O'Brien. And like I mentioned before with J.J. Watt, they said they got into a heated exchange at practice.
Wow. Well, I think some people are better suited for college, and I think Bill O'Brien might be one of those guys. Like I said, he took a job that no one wanted after the whole Jerry Sandusky bullshit.
And nobody wanted to go there.
Right.
And he took a team with not a lot of – they weren't like a lot of good recruits in Penn State, and he still won with them, right?
Right. And he did something cool because Penn State doesn't put the kids' names on the uniforms, but for the 1 year – for the kids, because a lot of kids left Penn State too that were there.
Right, a lot of them transferred, yeah.
So he let them put their names on their jerseys, and I thought that was like a cool symbolic gesture.
Yeah.
Of
to show that they were willing to stay there and play. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't like they were playing for Sandusky. This had happened in the previous years. So they came to Penn State and played for a whole new coaching regime.
Just what a shame that fucking Joe Paterno knew about it and didn't do anything.
I know.
What a shame.
I always was a Paterno fan too, and then once you hear that,
and then he was supposed to get the Presidential Medal of Freedom from Obama, and then they canceled it. Then he dies a fucking few weeks later.
He died right after he had quit the job.
Well,
or got fired, I guess you would call it.
They let him resign.
Right.
They let him resign. But I believe that he died of a broken heart.
Oh, probably.
Because that can happen.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know the technical term for that.
I don't know if there's a medical term, but I know what you're saying. As soon as he resigned / fired, whatever it was, he passed away.
Yeah.
I mean, he was old, but it seemed like that job was keeping him alive the whole time. Because he was, like 88?
He was old, yeah.
And he was still coaching into his 80s, which was nuts.
He was doing a good job. What do you have? He had at least one national championship.
Well, and you mean in total?
Yeah. But that's still hard to do.
I don't think they won when he got into his 80s. They had one before that.
It was like in 1990
right.
or something.
He might have actually won more than one championship.
Well, they were always a solid team.
Oh, yeah. Penn State's one of the best programs in the country, hands down. Yeah. It just sucks, like you said, to hear that. It just like puts a sour taste in your mouth.
It broke my heart, as just a college football fan.
Yeah, I was never a Penn State fan, but I always respected them. I liked watching them on TV.
Now, did Penn State play Notre Dame like every year? Was that like a rivalry at all?
They didn't really play them that much. Once in a while, like they would have a matchup like that.
Because they're not that far from each other geographically.
Because usually Notre Dame would play Michigan and Michigan State, so they don't want to schedule too many Big Ten teams versus them.
Hey, what's this I hear about Notre Dame's in the ACC now? Is that true?
Yeah, they're in the ACC. They're not independent anymore.
But why the ACC?
I don't know. I guess probably something money related. Who knows?
I mean, so they play Clemson, so that's always going to be.
Yep, they play Florida State tonight.
Oh, that's interesting.
And Florida State's actually really bad this year, though.
The Seminoles.
Shout out to my boy Kevin, Florida State fan.
Shout out to Kevin. My dad used to bet on the Seminoles a lot.
Well, Seminoles have a great history, that's for sure.
When I was having those meetings my senior year of high school with my guidance counselor and my parents, I don't know if Chatham did the same shit as my high school, Hanover Park.
That's because you were a troublemaker. That's probably why you had those meetings.
No, but you have them to figure out, to talk about colleges and stuff.
Oh, like a legit meeting, okay.
Yeah. And
not like your son's a fuck-up meeting.
And my dad was such a degenerate college football gambler that he knew all the fucking colleges and mascots. Like he knew more about the colleges than the fucking guidance council.
So, he's like, send my son to Florida State because I like their football team.
Nah, he was naming all the schools and all the fucking conferences and all the teams.
Right. Well, Florida State, I'm assuming that's like early 2000s, late 90s. They always had a good program.
Yeah, Miami.
Yeah, unfortunately. I hate all those schools. I hate Florida State. I hate Miami. I hate all those schools.
Now, why? Because there's like Notre Dame?
Not even. Well, I mean, for Miami, it was always like, I don't know. What do you have to have, like a 1.0 GPA to play football for Miami? And like Notre Dame, there's a higher standard.
Miami's a private school, too.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But Notre Dame, they hold you to a better standard. Like, there's no like cheating on tests. You better maintain like a 3.0 GPA if you want to play football there.
That's high, though. Are you sure it's not like 2.0?
I think it's 2.5, actually.
That's like a C+.
Yeah. Which is what you should be. What's a 1.0?
But Notre Dame's
a D minus?
But Notre Dame's a legit school, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like the stories we heard about our friend Ray Rice when he was at Rutgers.
Rutgers.
What happened? Didn't you know someone that was like in a class with him?
Well,
or something?
there's a story that he threw a quiz on the teacher's desk and he said Ray Rice don't take no quiz.
talking in the.
I wasn't there, but from what I hear, that's a legitimate story. You heard it here, folks.
He knew someone that knew someone.
Yeah. And I heard he was driving around like in a brand new Cadillac in college. Brand new. College kid with no money. Family's middle class. Brand new Cadillac. New
Rochelle. It's not a terrible area.
No, it's a nice town. It's a nice town.
Not super far from here.
Right.
And, hey, Ray Rice, just word of advice, man. Next time you're out with your wife, stay out of the elevators, huh?
Yeah.
At the raffle.
Well, I think it was his fiance. I don't think they were married yet.
But, no, look, she stuck with him, you know.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, he slugged her in the elevator, right? And that kind of costed him his career.
Costing him his career, absolutely.
Hey, domestic abuse is no laughing matter, so who knows why she even stayed with him, right?
Who knows, man?
The only thing I could think of...
This show is not sophisticated enough for that conversation.
But my only theory is that we don't know the whole story, and maybe, like, she, like, provoked it somehow. And again, I'm not justifying what he did.
No, you can't.
But why would she stay with him? You know?
It happens all the time, man. It happens all the time, unfortunately.
And look, I'm a big fan of forgiveness and moving on in life, so maybe they had some sort of reconciliation. But that costed Ray Rice his whole career.
He did.
He's coaching his high school now.
Is he really?
That's what he does, yeah.
He's not even that old, isn't he? Like 33?
Yeah, he's like 3 or 4 years younger than us.
Yeah, so, I mean, and this incident happened, what, like 4 years ago?
More than that.
Is it more than 4 years? So at the time, he was like, what, 28?
The Revel was still open. Now we're going to tie in our degenerate Atlantic City.
All right.
Because now it's called, what, Ocean View?
The Ocean Club or
whatever.
Something like
whatever
that.
Shitty. AC's such a shithole. It's so sad.
Yeah, it's a joke.
But back before AC was the shithole that it is now, when it was less of a shithole, we had the Revel. And the Revel closed down, I think, in 2014, bro. Or 2015.
No.
Yeah.
Later than that.
No. They were closed for a while before it reopened. Yeah.
Okay. So actually, that was a while ago then when that happened.
It was a minimum of 4 to 5 years ago.
So he was probably like 28 when his career ended.
Yeah.
Wow.
And again, running backs don't have super long careers.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but he was still performing at a pretty high level at that point.
He had just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was like degrading in talent or anything.
Not at all. No.
Yeah. So it did ruin his career. I'm sure he made enough money in that 5-6 year career anyway to be well off.
Well, but who knows how well he managed it and
True.
Whatever. You know, this is all speculation now, but you know, if they ever do a Where Are They Now on Ray Rice, he's going to be right in New Rochelle. That's all that matters.
Yeah, a lot of these guys just don't manage their money well. There was a basketball player named Vin Baker on the Bucks. He actually became a manager of Starbucks a couple years ago, and this guy was an all-star like for 6 years.
Get the fuck out of here.
And I don't think I think he was an assistant manager, and he made I think over $100 million in his career.
Holy fuck!
Manager at
folks,
Starbucks.
If I'm gonna give a free plug right now to the only good thing that ESPN produces called 30 for 30.
Oh, those are great.
And they have the one called Broke, where they talk about like athletes blowing their money.
I'm sure I didn't see it, but I probably know where you're going with this.
Yeah, well, I have it, so you can watch it anytime you want.
Look at this guy. What a nice guy.
Andre Rison is in it. He talks about when fucking Left Eye burnt down his mansion.
Really?
Remember that?
No.
Yeah.
Andre Rison?
It was Andre Rison, right?
I don't know. I have no idea.
When the chick from TLC that died, before she died, she burnt down his fucking house.
How did she do that?
It started like she was trying to, I think, burn something in the bathroom, and the fire. She just lost control of the fire, and it just spread to the
God!
whole
Was she like smoking a joint or something?
No, she deliberately started the fire, but she didn't mean to actually burn down the whole house.
Oh my God! Is that really what happened?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
So and the next game on the list was the Cardinals and Jets, and that was one of your picks, I believe, right?
Yeah, I took Cardinals there.
Yeah.
I mean,
how could you not?
I mean, the Jets are a disaster. So, yeah, you definitely got to go Cardinals there. I mean, if you take the Jets, all I can say is good luck.
Yeah. Next up, the 1-3 Finns.
Versus the Niners.
Who were looking good a couple weeks ago on Thursday night, but again, it was against the Jaguars.
Against the Jaguars.
Yeah, taking a trip to San Francisco.
Yep, they got to go to San Francisco. Jimmy Garoppolo's back, who I just picked up in fantasy. So I like the Niners here.
Yeah.
What's the points?
9
points?
They're giving up 9. I'm not going to say this is a lock of the week, but I like it. I like it.
Do you?
I think they could easily win by 9.
The Dolphins are just that crazy. Whenever you have Fitzpatrick playing, this guy can pull off miracles sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, that's why they call him Fitzmagic.
I think, you know what? The Dolphins might get some garbage time points, but there's no way they're going to have a chance to win. outright.
So you see the Niners by 9 points here?
Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to make this the lock of the week because I already picked the lock of the week, but I do like the Niners -9.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I could see them winning by. I mean, they should win by 9 is the thing, but again, it comes down to Fitzpatrick, man. This guy just will dodge 6 tackles and throw a Hail Mary to win the game. This guy sometimes pulls a one out of his ass.
That's true, but no, I do love the Niners by 9.
Okay.
Next up, we have the quietly 3-1 Indianapolis Colts with Phillip Rivers, right?
Yeah.
Wow, 3-1.
And the Browns are 3-1 too.
The 3-1 Browns. Holy shit!
It's kind of crazy that one of these teams is going to be 4-1 after tomorrow.
You know what? I'm glad this game is on at 4:30.
Is that
it's
a
4:25?
It's a
game.
4 o'clock. Okay.
So that'll be a good game.
Yeah.
That game, because usually I go home, like during the 4 o'clock games.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stay out to watch that game.
That actually will be a good game. Well, actually, the only good game in the 4 o'clock time frame because Dolphins and Niners looks like crap, and of course we know the other 4 o'clock game is the New York Giants.
Right. Well, we'll get to that, unfortunately.
But yeah, let's look at the Colts and Browns game first.
Indy's giving up 2.
2 points. I don't want to jump on the Browns bandwagon just yet, but also, you know me with Phillip Rivers, you can't really trust this guy. This is such a tough game to pick. I see it come down to the wire. If you force me to make a pick, I'll lean towards the Colts.
Yeah, because they're in Cleveland though.
Only because I don't trust the Browns. I don't see the Browns going 4-1. That's the only reason I'm picking the Colts.
Something about that doesn't sound right.
Yes, Browns and 4-1 just does not go into my vocabulary. So I'm just gonna pick the Colts based on that reason alone. But I do see this game being close.
I agree with you all the way on this one.
Yeah.
I'd like to disagree with you more to make the show a little more entertaining, but I'm too honest for that. I can't argue logic all the time. Sometimes I can if I figure out a way.
I think a lot of the viewers will agree with me on that as well. It'd be nice to get some call-ins maybe. Once we get this show rolling a little bit better.
Oh yeah, no, we're definitely going to do that eventually. All right, well I guess we got to cover it. So the 0-4 New York Giants taking a trip to Jerry's World.
Jerry's World.
To the 1-3 Cowboys. So between these two fucking teams, we're 5 weeks into the season. Well, technically 4, but this is week 5. 1 win between both these teams.
They're 1-7 combined. Ugh.
1 win.
Come
on, man.
And how did they win? They had to come back from 30 down versus the Falcons.
And Dallas is given 10 points. Fucking load up on Dallas, folks.
I guess. I mean, right?
They're playing at home against a very, very, very incompetent Giants team.
Man.
I will tell you what, the Giants do look like they actually try, but they're just not good.
They're just not good enough, yeah. That's what it is. And their defense, if you look at it statistically, is not bad this year. I think they fall into the top 12, actually, which is kind of surprising.
That is surprising. You would never think that.
So between that and the Cowboys' defense being absolutely shameful, maybe they keep it within 10 here. Dallas is -10, by the way. Maybe Giants keep it within 10. But, I probably agree with you there. Cowboys -10. It's hard to pick a team that's 1-3 to win by double digits, but I guess you kind of have to.
Well, if it's against the Giants, it's not that hard.
Yeah, very true. The Giants are 0-4 and have proven nothing to me on offense. Daniel Jones hasn't thrown a touchdown pass since week 1.
Wow, that's atrocious.
They scored 3 field goals last week. They got 9 points. What's this team going to prove to us? Who knows?
What is it with the Giants, man? Why can't they just fucking score a touchdown when they're in the red zone?
Yeah,
or as Tom Coughlin used to call it, the green zone.
I feel like historically they've been pretty bad in the red zone, but especially this year, they will drive it down the field and then just settle for a field goal.
They can move the ball. So like when in between the 20s, they can move the ball. But what the fuck good is it if you're not converting some of that into a touchdown?
And keep in mind, this year the Giants have 0 talent around Daniel Jones. I mean, who's their best receiver? Shepard's out. They have Slayton. They have Evan Ingram. They have no running backs. There's not really much to choose from here on this Giants offense.
Yeah. You got any Giants on your fantasy team?
I don't know. There's nobody really worth it. The only guy that a lot of people like to pick up is Slayton because for whatever reason he gets touchdowns for an inept offense.
Right.
Somehow, but obviously this year he's not because no one's scoring touchdowns for the Giants.
Yeah, I actually in my big league I have Evan Ingram as my tight end, but I only picked him because he was like the best available tight end when I picked him.
Well, before this season, I think he was a top 5 fantasy tight end.
Yeah.
And he's not scoring touchdowns. And if you're not scoring touchdowns for fantasy purposes, you're not really worth a start.
Yeah, you might as well fucking play Gronk.
Yeah.
over him.
I picked up Jimmy Graham this past week,
Dude,
and
he had a great game.
I mean, it wasn't amazing, but he scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's all I can hope for
But
because
what do you really expect to get out of him?
oh yeah, there's only 2 tight ends in the league that are going to put up numbers. That's Kittle and Kelsey.
Yeah.
Those guys will have 100 yards receiving. Everybody else is a crapshoot, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can't argue that. All right, so next up here we have the 1-3 Vikes taking a trip to 4-0 Seattle. Looks like Seattle's giving up 7. That's going to be the Sunday night game.
Yeah. Tough pick here, actually. I think I spoke with this before. Minnesota, they have talent. I don't know why they're 1-3.
Right.
They're such a weird team.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you look at some of their guys on offense, they put up numbers in fantasy. I have Dalvin Cook. He's been killing it all year. Adam Thielen's been one of the best wide receivers in the league. They have the talent on offense, but they just don't translate it to wins. Seahawks -7 here. I don't know. I think this game I would go with the Vikings +7 just because I feel like they are better than 1-3 record shows. And Seahawks got to lose one game or keep a game close eventually, right? They're 4-0.
Wow.
Are they going to go 16-0? What's going on here?
That's a good point. Hey, the Seahawks really have just been a solid franchise for this whole century.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since the new millennium, man. They've been a pretty good fucking team. I don't think they've missed the playoffs more than a few times in the last 20 years.
I remember that, back in, 04 when Holmgren was the coach, they went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Steelers.
Yeah.
That was a weird team, though, the Seahawks had. Like, they didn't have any one great player. They just played well as a whole.
Right.
Like, there was no weak links in their team.
Right?
Who was, an average quarterback at best. But, like, if you look at that whole squad back then, they didn't have any great players, but no bad players.
Right.
No weak links.
That's a good point. Well, Holmgren's a solid.
Yeah, I mean, he was with the Packers.
He might have been coach and GM also. But you know what?
Probably. I thought they gave him a lot of power there.
Unlike Bill O'Brien, he could handle it.
Yes.
He
made it work.
I believe he left on his own. I don't think he got fired.
I feel like he retired because he was getting pretty old at that point.
Yeah, he was already pretty old. So if you're a good NFL coach, you get 2 runs basically. You know what I mean? Like if you're Bill Parcells, you get a few runs. But Bill Parcells, like after he left the Pats, that was like he really didn't have the same success with the Jets or with Dallas.
No.
But he had his 2 runs. He had his run here, and then he had a nice little run in New England.
And the Patriots, they went to the Super Bowl and lost.
To Favre.
I always liked that Patriots team
With Drew Bledsoe.
But Bledsoe and Curtis Martin, that was a good team to watch. They had who else did they have? They had Terry Glenn at wide receiver.
Oh wow, yeah.
I think they had Lawyer Malloy in the secondary.
And he stayed on the team for Belichick.
Right. Yeah, like that team was always fun to watch, and I actually.
Well, we were glorified Pats fans when they had Parcells because we love Parcells.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And when Parcells
That's kind of what it was, and they were an AFC team, so they didn't really conflict with the Giants.
Yeah. And then when Parcells went to the Jets, we were de facto Jets. I mean, we were still Giants fans, but we were de facto Jets fans just because they had Parcells.
We wanted to root for him, yeah.
The only team we couldn't root for was Dallas when he went to Dallas.
Of course. And I always liked the Patriots because I used to see them play against the Jets when I used to go to the games. My cousin got season tickets. And also in Pee Wee football, that was our team name, the Patriots.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We were the Giants.
The little Giants.
Yeah.
I actually had a Patriots starter jacket, too, believe it or not.
Wow, you went that far? You got a jacket, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was your team.
I would never wear that jacket now, though.
No.
Once Bledsoe was gone and Parcells left, I was done with that team.
Yeah.
Then Curtis Martin came to the Jets.
Right, that's right. Good times.
Good times. So what's the next game on here? So now,
all right, so now we're on to Monday. So now
we have 2 Monday games.
And a Tuesday game.
2 Mondays and a Tuesday game.
So the early game on Monday at 5 o'clock is the 1-3 Broncos taking a trip to New England.
Speaking of these games happening on Monday and Tuesday, I always wondered this. Why don't they have games all throughout the whole week? I understand tradition. I get it. But isn't it...
Not tradition, but I mean, basically you need a week to recover.
No, I get that. But why not play on Monday and then you play next Tuesday? Just alter the schedule in that manner.
But then what do? You go from Tuesday to Sunday?
Yeah, something like that. Because they kind of do that now. You play Sunday and Thursday sometimes.
Yeah.
So I always wondered, why is football all on Sunday?
Well, I really just think the main reason is because you need a week to prepare and a week to recover.
I get that, but why can't we play on Sunday, then you play on Friday? Or play on Sunday, then play on Saturday?
Well, all right, so the NFL will never play on Saturday. Because
of college.
Yeah. Right.
But they do later in the season.
They're not going to tamper with their free farm system.
Right.
And yes, when the NFL does play on Saturdays later in the year, that's after college regular season is done.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So,
but actually, now we're kind of going towards this because of the whole COVID thing. So now teams are playing on obscure days. I mean,
this is a fucked up year.
Yeah, we have a game on Tuesday. Has that ever happened before?
I don't think so.
Not in our lifetime, at least.
And now this is for the third time in 5 weeks. We have 2 fucking games on Monday night.
2 Monday night, and the one game's at 5, which is interesting.
Hey, yeah, I think Franklin Steakhouse is going to make some money on Monday night.
Oh, we're giving a plug to Franklin Steakhouse too.
Hey, I'll be there.
Why not? Let's check it out. But where are we here? So the Broncos at Pats at 5 o'clock. Wow, Pats are minus 11 with a backup quarterback. I know Cam Newton's not playing, so I have him on fantasy.
It is against the Broncos.
It is against this Broncos team. And one thing I did want to check was if their quarterback's playing.
What do you get, 3.5 points just for being at home?
It's usually 3 even.
Yeah.
But I do like the Broncos' regular quarterback, the starter, Drew Lock. He's good. They say he's questionable. So if he plays, I'm taking Broncos plus 11 versus a backup quarterback in New England. But if he doesn't play, I can see New England blowing them out. I think it comes down to who's playing quarterback for the Broncos.
Yeah, good point.
And that's a 5 o'clock game.
And then the later game on Monday night, the 1-3 Chargers. By the way, that kid, the quarterback, played awesome in Tampa.
Oh, Herbert.
Yeah, he had a really good
And now he's officially the starter, finally. It was only a matter of time. They still were looking at Tyrod Taylor to start the rest of the year. But you got to start this kid. I mean, they drafted him pretty high. He's looking really good. Another 1-3, the Chargers. But some of those games are really close. They actually should have beat the Chiefs.
I wonder if the Chargers stayed in the southeast area because they're going to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
Oh, true. So they were playing in Tampa, now they're playing in New Orleans.
Yeah.
That's probably a smart thing to do, right? Stay around there. Nolans, how the locals call it.
Nolans -8. I like the Saints -8.
You like the Saints there -8?
Yeah, for sure.
Saints have been playing some close games. You know what? I do like the Chargers here with the points. Give me the Chargers with 8 points. Let's do that.
All right. So we'll see who wins that one.
Now we have a Tuesday night game.
Right. So this is interesting.
The Tuesday night game, folks.
4-0 Bills
against 2 undefeated teams. Someone's going to have a loss after Tuesday.
7 p.m. on Tuesday. All right, that'll be cool. I'll go out for that game.
Isn't that interesting? I like that.
That'll be cool.
A 7 p.m. game on a Tuesday. So
I think we're going to be pumping some money into the local economy in Fairfield on Monday and Tuesday.
Fairfield seems the place to be to watch these games. So we got what do we got? Buffalo. Wow, 8.5 point favorite versus the Titans. That's a pretty big spread for a 3-0 a 3-0 Titans team. I mean, am I missing something? And they're playing in Tennessee.
Are the Bills that good?
I know they're good, but am I against a 3-0 team that went to the AFC Championship game last year? I mean, are we missing something here?
So, what are you trying to tell us, Greg? Are you trying to say we should load up on Tennessee?
You know, these are those games where everybody loads up on Tennessee, and then, of course, Buffalo wins by 10.
Or they'll change the spread, like, an hour before kickoff.
Well, as people start betting Tennessee, the spread's going to probably lower as people do that, which I see happening. But that's a very odd spread. I would take Tennessee 8.5, 3-0. How could you not, right?
Can't argue that. So that's it for week 5. Anything fantasy wise?
Oh, we're done already?
Well, we're not. We're wrapping up, but
okay.
Anything in the world of fantasy stick out to you, or anything college tonight? I think Miami's playing tonight.
Yeah, the one college game we were looking at is Miami versus Clemson, number 17 versus number 1 team. But what's weird, I was looking at the spread. I think Clemson's a 15-point favorite, so they're probably saying Miami doesn't deserve to be a top 10 team. That's what that tells me. But,
well, we shall see.
But that seems to be the game of the week, I guess, for college football.
Besides the Red River Showdown, which is on right now, and I think
this is a blowout, though. Not a blowout, but 14 points.
Yeah, they're still up by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And it looks like there's a lot of people in that stadium. Looks like it's 50%.
Looks like it's rocking. Yeah.
Yeah. So good for them. All right, folks. Thank you, as usual, sexy bitches out there, for joining us as we talk about football. Stay strong, boycotters. We'll watch, so you don't have to. Be sure to check out Rubbing the Rhubarb on Thursday night for live presidential debate coverage, if it happens. Because I think the Democrats are trying to pull some shenanigans with trying to do it like virtually.
They want to do it virtual, yeah, that's what I heard.
And the president's not going for that. But we'll see what happens. If they do one, we'll be there. I believe that's it. I'll come out with another episode of What's Trending, which is probably my favorite show to do, my solo show. And that's it. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. You sexy bitches out there, stay safe. And again, stay strong, boycotters.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Take care.